So what you're saying is these people are the human equivalent of squirrels gorging.
Yeah, squirrels raiding a bird feeder.
Hey, welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kristie. We've got some Reddit stories for you today, so let's get going.
Every time we go out to eat, she orders something exotic and hates it, then expects to switch meals with me. She sees this as quirky. I'm about to leave her, it's so frustrating. What are some solutions?
Tell her no. Tell her to reorder something else. This is my food. Hands off!
Maybe I'm making too big of a deal out of this. I don't know, that's why I'm posting here. This has been going on since we've dated in college. I'll use last night as an example. I'm always safe order guy, meaning I get chicken tenders, steak, a burger, orange chicken, etc. It's not like I dislike other food. It's that if I'm doing something crazy, I want to buy it, prepare it, cook it, and serve it. Be in control of the whole process. She always orders the special, the catch of the day, the taster's menu, etc. She invariably says, I don't really like this. I should have just ordered what you got. Let's switch. And she grabs my plate. Sometimes I'm able to eat her food. Sometimes it really is bad and then I go hungry. I brought this up with her and she has upfront told me she thinks it makes her quirky and fun. And I've known this since I started dating her.
No, it makes you annoying and entitled.
Last night we went to a sports bar after our league beach volleyball game and we're starving. I just wanted food, so I ordered chicken tenders and fries. This dingy sports bar was having a snow crab special, which of course she wanted.
Oh, I don't think that's the place where you buy snow crabs from.
It depends on where they are. It really does. Maryland? I don't care how dingy the bar is, I'll get crab there.
That is a good point. But Michigan, maybe don't.
Yeah, Michigan's maybe don't go to random places for crab. I begged her to please just order something they couldn't mess up, and she accused me of being so boring. Food came. Her crab legs looked, smelled, and tasted like they were rotting wax. And of course, she didn't want it and wanted my tenders.
You.
Don't bother returning it to the kitchen or anything.
I think that's something you complain to the waiter about.
Yeah. I finally stood up for myself and said no. She could send them back and order her own food. Cue massive fight. She accused me of wasting food, of not cooperating with her, and not reading the room, whatever that meant.
So she wants him to eat the rotting crabs that she ordered?
Pretty much, yeah.
No.
I told her that no, I was not doing it this time. She started crying and demanding to go home. I said no, I was so hungry I was eating my food. I think she got an Uber to a friend's house and I have not seen her since. I'm fed up. Is this breakup worthy and what should I do about this? Edit, we are engaged and live together. We also share credit cards and bank accounts.
I feel like this could be a breakup worthy offense, but why don't you try talking it out first? Like, you need to tell her that this is something that really, 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 really bothers you, rightly so, and that this is unacceptable behavior, and that she needs to change. And if she wants to order fun, quirky food or whatever, also order a safe option and just, she can't keep stealing your food. That's so rude. I don't know if I could stay with someone who thought it was okay to take my food and this was okay and let me go hungry.
You're very territorial about food.
Food is so important to me, and thankfully you understand.
Yeah, it does sound like the first time he ever complained to her was when he snapped at her.
Well, no, he must have complained before.
He did argue, you're right.
He must have complained before because she's like, I'm just quirky.
You're right, he's talked to her about it before.
Yeah. But this time he snapped.
I guess the solution is the problem is she doesn't want to waste food.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you buy the sea urchin in the sushi dish and it turns out you hate sea urchin, you throw out the sea urchin. You don't make someone eat it.
Yeah, I was like, she's making him eat the gross food she doesn't want, which is, don't bite me, you asshole. Is Odin the asshole for biting me? Yes. What was I going to say? What was I saying?
I don't know.
I don't even know. Odin, you wrecked my train of thought. Don't stop biting me! Don't bite my legs!
I said something about ordering sea urchin.
Oh, yeah, making him eat the yucky food you don't like is also very rude. It's gross food. Don't make anyone eat it. Throw it away.
Especially at this crab, apparently.
Yeah. I don't know if it is breakup worthy without talking it over first. Maybe make her go see a therapist with you and do couples counseling because she is not understanding that this is not okay. But yeah, if you like have a serious conversation about it and she doesn't change, this is the hill she's going to die on, she's going to keep doing this, then yeah, break up with her. You don't want to spend the rest of your life with that person and keep going hungry.
It sounds like he doesn't, no. And, I mean, you obviously like her enough to be engaged and share bank accounts.
He likes her, except when they go to restaurants.
Yeah, maybe you just need to cook more at home. I don't know.
Maybe just stop going to restaurants with her.
That's an option, honestly.
Or he can order. He's like, I'm getting chicken fingers. I'm just getting 2 orders because I know you're not going to like what you get.
Order double up front.
Yeah, order double up front.
Chicken fingers are great reheated. That's actually a good idea.
Uh-huh. Take them home if she ends up liking her food and doesn't eat your chicken fingers.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Hi.
He's just looking for a new spot to bite you from.
Don't huff at me. Mwah. He didn't like that.
I may read a comment or two here. I'm very Joey doesn't share food. And if someone pulled this shit with me and expected me to let it slide because they thought it made them quirky and fun, I'd be gone. She sounds annoying, extremely entitled, and very slightly psychotic for expecting OP to go hungry, all because she's playing the part of a quirky, fun, and adventurous foodie. I expect this has more to do with her testing his limits than just food, as evidenced by her blowing up when he suggested, quite logically, she order something else. It's like she wants him to suffer to prove how endearing he finds her.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, she said that she's like, I don't want to eat this, and then reached over and grabbed his food. I'd be slapping hands away. Joey doesn't share food.
It's a little that you're supposed to stop grabbing other people's food when you are like 4, right?
Yeah.
And then OP actually replied to that. To be fair to her, I don't think she expects me to go hungry. In fact, I'll bet she never noticed if I finish her meal or not.
Well, that's just not cool of her either.
That's not that might be worse.
Does she not care about you? She's not noticing if you're eating and enjoying the food like she is?
No, she loves those chicken tenders.
She's just digging in.
She just wants you to be adventurous. And then there is an update.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact timeline of how things went down on Sunday as far as me posting, but Original was locked when she texted me at 6 p.m. telling me that I owed her a huge apology for the way I behaved at the sports bar and the volleyball game. I still don't know what that is about. I asked her where she was. She said she would tell me... That's a damn tongue twister. She said she would tell me when I apologized. I said I was not going to apologize. She said she needed some time to think whether this relationship was right for her. I told her that I was just exhausted by so much of what she does that I couldn't do it anymore. She hung up, and I haven't heard from her since. She hasn't even been by to pick up a change of clothes, so I don't know where she is. I canceled all my credit cards we shared, and opened a new bank account, and took half out of our shared, but she hasn't taken any money out or used her debit card, so I guess I'm a little concerned since for all effects and purposes, she's disappeared. I'm not too worried now, but if I haven't heard anything by Friday, I'll call her parents. I kind of think she's doing this disappearing act for attention.
Sounds like it, yeah. But he was smart to, like, shut down all the ways that she could steal his half of the money. Like, those were all smart things that he did, you know. Canceling credit cards, opening a new account.
Yeah. So things could go pretty bad if you have joint bank accounts when you're breaking up. All right, and then one final edit. I called her parents. They haven't heard from her either, and me calling them now has them worried because they thought she was with me. I'm going to drive her important things over to their house and wash my hands of her. Whatever happens to her is of her own making at this point. That's the final update as far as I know.
I mean, a little concerning that even her parents haven't heard from her.
Yeah, right?
But, like, maybe check in with a few of her friends, but maybe they're lying for her and being like, oh, no, I haven't seen her because, you know, they don't want to tell her ex, you know, what she's up to.
I guess so. She's just living in that one set of clothes for the last 5 days.
She didn't go out and buy new stuff because she didn't use any of the money.
Yeah.
Whose clothes is she wearing?
Maybe her friends.
Yeah, I assume she's staying with a friend and just using all their stuff.
I'm going to assume that because the other option is depressing.
Yep. I hope she's okay, but I don't blame him for breaking up with her.
No, it sounds like she's unrepentant about her weird food quirk.
Mm-hmm. Am I the asshole for not inviting my sister to my wedding after she ruined my engagement party?
No, you're allowed to invite whoever you want to your wedding.
I, 28 female, recently got engaged to my fiancé, Justin, 30 male, and we couldn't be happier. We decided to throw an engagement party to celebrate with family and friends, and I was really looking forward to it. My sister, Aubrey, 25 female, has always been a bit of a wild card. She's the life of the party, but can also be incredibly self-centered. The night of the party, everything started off beautifully. We had a lovely venue, great food, and our closest friends and family were there to celebrate with us. However, things took a turn when Aubrey arrived. She was dressed to the nines, and I could tell she was ready to steal the spotlight. As the night progressed, she started making comments about my fiancé, saying things like, "I hope you know what you're getting into," and "you could do so much better." I tried to brush it off, thinking she was just being her usual dramatic self, but then she really crossed the line. During the toast, I stood up to thank everyone for coming and to share how much Justin means to me. Just as I was about to finish, Aubrey stood up and interrupted me. She raised her glass and said, "Here's to my sister settling for less. May your life be filled with mediocrity and regret."
Damn. I don't know. Does that sound funny in your head and it just turns out to be the worst thing you could say?
I don't know. It sounds really mean.
It does. It sounds so mean.
The room went silent. I was in shock, and Justin looked equally horrified.
Oh shit, Justin was there?
Yeah, it's the engagement party.
For some reason, I forgot it was an engagement party and thought it was a bachelorette party the whole story. No, you're right, that was an engagement party. Poor Justin.
Yeah, so Justin and all of Justin's family and friends are there too.
Yeah.
And his soon-to-be sister-in-law is like, dude, he sucks.
I don't know, just the way she was behaving deleted the fact that Justin was there from my brain. I'm like, who would do this in front of Justin?
I was in shock, and Justin looked equally horrified. I felt my face flush with embarrassment and anger. I quickly sat down, trying to regain my composure, but the damage was done. Guests started whispering, and some even left early. I was devastated. After the toast, I confronted Aubrey in private, hoping to get her to see how hurtful her words were. Instead, she doubled down, saying she was just being honest and that I should be thankful for her tough love. The next day, I was still reeling from the humiliation. I knew I had to make a decision about the wedding guest list, and after discussing it with Justin, we decided not to invite Aubrey. I felt that if she couldn't support me during my engagement, she didn't deserve to be part of my wedding day. When I told her parents about our decision, my mom was furious. She insisted that I should invite Aubrey to keep the peace in the family, claiming that family is everything. My dad was more supportive of my choice, saying that I shouldn't have to tolerate toxic behavior, especially on such an important day. As the wedding planning progressed, Aubrey found out that she wasn't invited. She exploded on social media, posting about how I was being a bridezilla and how I was excluding her for no reason. This led to a wave of family members reaching out to me, some siding with her and others supporting my decision. One of my aunts even called me to say that I was being too harsh and that Aubrey just wanted what was best for me. I felt cornered and alone. I thought about reaching out to her to talk things over, but I was afraid it would only lead to more drama. Now, with the wedding just a few weeks away, I'm feeling guilty. A part of me wonders if I should just invite her to avoid further family conflict, but another part of me believes that I deserve to have a day free from negativity. So, am I the asshole for not inviting my sister to my wedding after she ruined my engagement party?
Aubrey had your entire relationship up to this point to tell you that she didn't like Justin. Why is she doing it at the engagement party? Sorry, is Aubrey the older or the younger sister?
OP is 28, Aubrey is 25, so Aubrey's younger.
I mean, she's clearly having some sort of weird mental breakdown or something, right? I don't know, maybe. Maybe she just really doesn't like Justin.
Yeah, but like, why? It's so rude to do this at someone's engagement party.
Yeah.
And like ruin the whole night.
You had so many chances that aren't at the engagement party to do something like this, right?
But that wouldn't have been as dramatic as doing it at the engagement party.
Yeah.
She came dressed to the nines so that she could make a scene and be the center of attention.
That's why you don't want her at the wedding, right?
Yeah, I feel like you definitely don't want her at the wedding because she's going to make an even bigger scene.
Yeah.
Like, you cannot trust her to keep her opinions to herself.
No, you absolutely can't. She's gonna come in white and she's gonna badmouth Justin the whole time. Like, does that bitch have a speech up to this point? Because she's gonna try to give a speech.
I don't think she had a speech at this one either. She just stood up and gave one.
That's true.
Now, I don't think OP is the asshole for uninviting her sister. Her sister deserves to be uninvited. But where she is the asshole is her sister made that horrible statement about her fiance and she just sat down and shut up. I would be like, what the heck? Yeah, and I'd be defending my fiance and be like, you get out of here, bitch. My fiance is awesome and I love him and I'm very lucky to have him and you're a terrible sister. See, I'd be telling her off publicly in front of everyone and making her leave. And like, she didn't stand up for her fiance at all. She just kind of took it and sat down and was like,
Oh. I guess she's not a confrontational person. But she did kick her out, so maybe she is. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, she kicked her out of the wedding, not the engagement party.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Didn't kick her out of the engagement party. I can't fault you for not wanting this person at your wedding. It's very nice when weddings don't have a big fight.
She is only upset and wants to go so bad so she can pull some bullshit. NTA. Probably object during the ceremony.
Right?
She's not mad she's missing the wedding. She's mad she won't get a stage to cause drama again and wouldn't be shocked if she brought a mic to object mid-ceremony. Yeah, everybody thinks she's going to object.
I mean, she got a stage. She has social media and she's yelling on it. Like, she is going to be doing this no matter where she is, so just don't let it be at your wedding.
Just keep the peace. Ask your mom whose piece it is, because it's not yours.
No.
Right? Like, this is the worst idea. I feel like there is not going to be peace at the wedding if you invite your sister. She's gonna do something.
What happened to making sure the bride was happy on the day?
Yeah.
Hey, if you've made it this far into the video, hit that subscribe button. It lets us know you want us to keep making fun videos like this for you. I hate how mean my wife is.
Okay, if she's mean, that's understandable. Maybe divorce her.
This is from R off my chest, by the way.
Okay.
I hate how mean my wife is. I feel close to my breaking point as I've reached a new low in our relationship. I contracted COVID for the first time. I've spent the last 2 days quarantined in the corner of the house. I'm pretty miserable, and it's made worse by my wife's lack of empathy. She made sure that when she made lunch yesterday for the kids, she didn't make me anything. She has asked how I feel 0 times, offered 0 support, and only made comments in passing about how pissed she'll be if I infect anyone else.
Okay, that is a little rude.
I honestly can't fathom how she could hate me so much. At least my daughter asked me how I was feeling.
Okay, my only way the wife is not the asshole in this is if he is constantly sick and always has a man cold and is like, oh, baby me, because I'm so sick. All the time. That would get on your nerves, and eventually you'd be like, dude, deal with it yourself. You can't be doing this all the time. I don't need a 3rd child. But COVID is rough. I feel like this is the time when he actually is really sick and he needs someone to take care of him. But also, like, not take care of him, but like, just here's some food from a distance, because you don't want to catch that.
Right. Yeah, COVID is rough. All right, top comment from his wife.
Ooh.
See, this is why you can't believe everything you read on Reddit. This came across my feed randomly, by the way. Did you tell everyone how you got COVID? We have 2 kids. One was a medically fragile preemie and is not yet a year old. On my husband's 3rd work trip in November, I spent the night in the ER with the baby after frantically looking for childcare for the older kid. I say work trip because it was more of a team bonding trip full of fun activities and trips to restaurants. After that traumatic experience, I said no more work travel until the baby was 2. I was told I'm being sent to New York, which led me to believe it was a mandatory work trip having to do with his promotion. He wanted to fly out the day before Mother's Day, and I had to remind him it was Mother's Day. He ended up flying across the country for this trip, Tuesday through Friday, while I stayed home with the kids. I found out this wasn't a mandatory work trip when he was asking if I wanted a souvenir from the Met in the middle of a workday.
Oh.
He caught COVID in New York. So I was a solo parent from Tuesday through Friday, had half a day of help before dealing with a sick husband, and now I'm solo parenting again while trying to keep myself and the kids, including my ex-preemie, healthy. I made lunch for myself and the kids because I'm spread thin and at my own breaking point with how exhausted and run down I am. I didn't get a thank you for staying home alone with the kids for his work trip until Sunday after bringing up the lack of acknowledgement multiple times. I am sleeping on the couch so he can have the bed and quarantine in our bedroom. I went to a school fundraiser with our daughter Saturday evening before we knew it was COVID, and I received angry texts because I didn't reply immediately to his request for me to stop to get him Sudafed on my way home, which I did, by the way. We've done couples therapy in the past, nothing changes. I was stupid and didn't protect myself financially before becoming a stay-at-home mom and becoming entirely dependent on my husband. I have PTSD from my pregnancy, IVF, hospitalization followed by a premature labor, nearly 3 months NICU stay. This time last year, when I had to be hospitalized, our oldest got COVID and we were not allowed to visit the baby for the first 2 weeks of her life. So yeah, COVID is a big deal to me, and I'm doing everything I can to keep myself and the kids safe. But I'm mean, so I guess none of that matters.
Yeah, now I'm on the wife's side. You can't just, like, ditch your family and your responsibilities to go do fun stuff and be like, it's a work trip. And it's not. You're goofing off, and you just, that makes me mad. I'm really mad at guys who, like, want to have kids and have a family and then don't step up and take responsibility and think that they can still live the life that they had before they had kids. You know, I'm like, no, you got kids now, you're a dad now. You need to stay home and take care of them. You need to be a partner to your wife instead of pushing all the work off on her.
It's not that unreasonable not to be able to go on work trips until your kid has a better immune system.
Yeah, especially like with the preemie care and you know, she had some trauma she went through not being able to see her newborn preemie baby for 2 weeks because of COVID and stuff. And then you're just like, I'm mad at this guy. His family is not in good health, and he's just ditching them and going out and catching COVID, doing stuff he shouldn't be doing. But it is not quite as bad as I thought it was going to be when the wife came on and said you didn't get the full story. I was like, was he cheating? He was out cheating somewhere.
Right.
And his mistress gave him COVID. So not quite that bad, but like...
Still bad.
Still bad.
Yeah. Reddit very strongly agrees that, I mean, this isn't an Am I the Asshole thread, but yeah. Reddit's calling him an asshole anyways.
My wife is so mean. She won't let me go on vacations alone.
Everyone read her top comment. I think someone in your relationship is at their breaking point, and it's not you, buddy. Where was your empathy when you were skipping around New York having child-free fun while she stayed at home with 2 young children?
When does she get to go on a vacation like that by herself without the kids?
She's a stay-at-home mom, so obviously she doesn't get vacations.
Yeah.
Wife replied to this comment. Oh, I forgot to add. In the 6 years we've been parents, I have been away overnight just 2 nights. One was when he told our daughter that mommy didn't care about her, and I went to stay in a hotel that night. The other was this past February when I went to an event with a friend. He will not let me forget that he had to solo parent for 2 days and 1 night so I could go have fun in February.
Oh no, that's so hard, taking care of his own children, poor baby.
Yeah, and the other time she had to go stay at a hotel because she was so mad that he told their daughter that she doesn't like her.
Yeah, like why would he say that?
And then, several people replied to that being like, you might need to run. And she replied, honestly, I might have been fine just sticking my head in the sand like I always do. But this post scares me. He has no problem twisting things around and believing them, and that frightens me. Who knows what he's capable of making up in order to make me the bad guy? In March, he told me I was abusive in front of our 6-year-old, and I kicked him out for a night. She went and told all of the adults at school that Dad called Mom a bad word, and he had to go to a hotel. It was mortifying seeing anyone at her school after that. And then he came home and cried that I was keeping his children away from him.
He doesn't even want the children. He couldn't handle 2 days and 1 night with them.
This post might have been the final push I needed.
Yeah, I really feel for a lot of women who are not financially independent enough that they feel that they can't divorce their husbands, That's rough.
Yeah, that does suck. But all of their tea has been spilled.
Also, the 6-year-old going to school and saying that kids are just too honest.
Yeah. Yep.
Oversharing.
And then the pinned comment at the top of the post is from a mod, OP. Since this is a support sub, and no one in their right mind can support your stance, I'm closing the thread. Count your blessings.
Am I the asshole for quitting my job as the family raccoon negotiator?
What the hell is that? No. I want to take a guess at what the hell a raccoon negotiator is, and I feel like a raccoon is currently breaking into your garbage can, and it's your job to go out there and, bang a couple pots together or something. That's my guess as to what it is. I have no idea what the hell's going on.
Okay, so here's the deal. I, 29 male, live in a fairly wooded suburb, and for the past 3 years, a very fat raccoon named Greg has been terrorizing my family. I didn't name him Greg, my grandma did. She thinks it's funny. It is not. Anyway, Greg learned how to open our trash bins. Then he learned how to open the sliding door. Then, swear to God, he started showing up during family dinners and just watching us through the window like we were a zoo exhibit.
What do you mean he learned how to open your sliding door? That's insane.
It might be like, maybe he means like the sliding screen door, so if they have the door open and the screen closed, you know?
Maybe. Okay.
Because I can't imagine him opening a sliding door.
Those are heavy.
Yeah.
For a raccoon? Yeah.
I can barely get we don't have a sliding door, but my parents do, and I cannot get that thing open sometimes. It's so heavy. So I'm assuming it's the sliding screen door.
Okay. Greg sounds like a character.
My family, mom, dad, little brother Kyle, who eats glue, grandma, and sometimes Aunt Sharon, have somehow made me the official Greg negotiator. Anytime Greg shows up, "Oh, Hayden, go talk to him. Hayden, use your calm voice. He responds to that. Hayden, Greg likes it when you bring him marshmallows." So, like an idiot, I kept doing it. For years, I brought him hot dogs, I've sung to him, I even tried reasoning with him once like he was a medieval raccoon lord. "Greg of Trash Hollow, I beseech thee, vacate our compost realm."
Bro, it sounds like you're just really good friends with this raccoon. What do you mean?
But last week, Greg broke into the pantry and stole a bag of powdered donuts. My mom blamed me. "You didn't zip the treat bag." Greg got excited. I lost it. I said, "I am not Greg's emotional support human. I am done."
It sounds like everybody loves Greg.
I know, everybody loves Greg. It sounded like he loves Greg until this moment.
How do you go? I don't see how you entreat him like a medieval lord and don't secretly like Greg, right? Mm-hmm. I kind of like Greg. He's giving him
hot dogs, he's singing to him. And
yeah,
his family's asking him to, but you wouldn't do those things unless you liked Greg.
Right.
Anyways, he's not Greg's emotional support human. He's done. So I quit. No more negotiating with Greg. No more raccoon diplomacy. From now on, I'm just a guy who lives near a trash gremlin. Don't bite me! You're so mean.
You're talking too much. He doesn't like it.
Too loud and too excitedly.
He wants quiet pets.
He's purring still. Now my whole family is mad at me. Grandma says Greg looks disappointed. Kyle cried and said, "Greg's gonna bite me now," which, maybe.
Okay, don't let Greg bite him or you have to put Greg down. You understand that, right?
Rabies shots are expensive.
Yeah.
So Reddit, am I the asshole for quitting my unpaid, emotionally taxing, raccoon-related job?
It sounds like Greg is getting a little out of hand, which is why raccoons don't make good pets.
Yeah. Because
they will just dig their way back through your wall to get back into your house.
Mm-hmm. They're very destructive.
Yes. They're destructive. They get into everything. They're smart. No, the raccoon does not make a good pet. And you're not an asshole for, like, stopping, but I feel like you let it get to, like, a level where you probably shouldn't have.
Yeah, the whole family is a little too,
attached to this wild animal?
Yeah, I was like, let the wild raccoon be a wild raccoon and maybe don't be feeding it hot dogs and marshmallows.
And get a lock for your trash can?
Yeah. I had absolutely no idea what story that title would lead to, and I was not disappointed.
Yeah, right? Yeah, Greg has obviously, raccoons are smart, and it's not hard to associate you with food. You're giving him the best food.
Yeah. I don't blame Greg. He's like, hey, Greg got it made.
Yeah.
He's not leaving. This is paradise. So, you know who the asshole is here? Greg. Greg is the asshole. And Grandma. Definitely Grandma. You're the asshole for not cherishing this wonderful creature, Greg.
You are blessed by the trash panda distribution system, and you are taking it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Am I the asshole for asking the neighbor to move their little farm stand because people are stealing from my garden?
Ooh, that's tough. I mean, if the farm stand is on the neighbor's property, you can't really tell them to move it. But, like, it's really rough that people are stealing from you, but I think there's a different solution you need to come up with.
Before anyone says, just build a fence, we can't afford it right now, and no HOA.
Yeah, in this economy, who can afford to buy lumber?
Yeah, it's expensive.
Right?
My neighbor set up one of those pantries/farm stands where people can just take items that they grow in their garden, pantry stuff, donated stuff, etc. In theory, it's a great idea, and especially in a time when life in America sucks ass, people are struggling to make ends meet. My family included. The problem: People started coming into my yard to pick things in my garden. I put up signs saying not to do it. I installed rabbit fence around the garden. I've angled a tarp so you can't see what's there from the road. People just hold their kids over the fence to pick tomatoes and beans or jump it.
Okay, it sounds like they've already taken a bunch of precautions to stop this happening, and people are being really rude.
People get fucking crazy when there's a free anything.
Yeah.
Like
free fresh veggies?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, there's free fresh veggies here. Why don't I take those veggies too?
Mm-hmm.
You've heard the like Facebook stories where somebody's like listed something for free in front of their house and it just escalated to the point where people looted them?
Yeah.
So this is not abnormal. I ended up getting into an argument with a lady over it. I yelled, "Hey, stop. Those are not for you to take." She told her kid to move faster and then tried to run away. I caught up to her and asked her what the fuck her problem was, and she turned it into how dare I swear in front of her child. Why am I so angry? And am I really that upset about a couple tomatoes? I said I am upset that you are stealing from me.
Yeah, like, you swore in front of my child. You're teaching your child to steal.
Are you really that upset about a couple tomatoes? Are you really willing to commit petty theft over a couple tomatoes?
Right?
The next day, I approached my neighbor. I asked if I could maybe help move it to the other side of their driveway so it's next to the other neighbor's house. They don't have a garden out front. They said at least not until the end of the season. I asked if they could make larger signs, talk to people, just do something. They were like, "Can you really not afford to share?" I said that they aren't taking my zucchini because they're starving. They're taking my tomatoes because they want them. They said that I'm going to have to learn to live with it for now, and we can talk about a solution together that will benefit the whole community after. I said I do not care about a solution that benefits the whole community. I care about a solution that stops people from stealing from me.
Understandable. I don't want to help the community that is taking advantage of me and trespassing on my property and stealing.
Now, this community can be helped away from your house.
Yeah. I don't want to help stealing thieves.
No. This is the type of people that ruin good things.
Yeah.
You have a good thing and people, there's the 1% of assholes that turn up and just make it so you have to make a rule or get rid of it. So last night it happened again. Man in his 50s. I sprayed his ass with the hose.
Yes, love it.
He started yelling at me, and after a minute or so, the neighbor came out yelling at me too. People have posted on the neighborhood board to be careful if they come by because I'm an asshole. The neighbor says I'm scaring people away from a community resource. I told him that I'm going to continue until he does something about the fucking thieves who feel entitled to my garden.
If he's so concerned about her scaring people away from the community resource, move the community resource to the other side of the yard like she asked you to.
Right? Just move it. It's not that hard to move a stand. It's probably shittily placed anyways.
Yeah.
It's not like you poured a foundation or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind here. Am I the asshole for asking them to move it? Am I the asshole for being pissed off that people are fucking stealing from me? This is food for my family.
Yeah, not the asshole. You planted that garden, you've tended that garden, you're growing those veggies. You should get to enjoy them. People can't just come onto your property and take them. That's so rude and entitled.
Yeah, right?
I would be installing cameras and posting videos on the Facebook group of everybody who steals from my garden. I would be installing one of those automatic motion censored sprinklers.
Oh, yeah, right?
I would be getting petty with it.
You absolutely need to get a little petty and shame people for stealing. This is why we don't have a garden in the front yard.
Yeah.
Even though we get better sunlight in the front yard.
Yeah, our backyard is so shaded, but I'm like, too bad, that's where we're growing the veggies, even if they suck.
Because people do just wander by and take things out of your garden. I've seen so many people on our like city forum posting about people just deciding that they can take shit out of their garden.
Yeah, because surprisingly, a lot of people in our neighborhood have gardens in their front yard.
Yeah. And
stuff, which where I grew up was not a thing, but here apparently we're like all hippy dippy where we live, and it is a thing, is to like grow your own gardens in your front yard, which is weird. And my childhood neighborhood, it was always backyard gardens.
I mean, whatever. It doesn't bother me either way, but I get where you're coming from.
But yeah, and it is a problem in the city with people just walking by and picking tomatoes out of someone's front yard garden.
Yeah.
You know? That's not cool.
No, it's not. You grew those tomatoes. They're not up for grabs. The one that I always remember is somebody grows a tree. Like, they have like a fruiting tree, and people wouldn't stop taking cuttings off of it.
Oh, no.
And they're like, my tree is dying, stop.
Yeah.
And no one will stop.
Oh, that is a problem.
That is.
Right?
I fully get it. People will just steal from a front garden. Oh, also, sorry, I'm just remembering things as we talk about this, which I guess is how this works. We get that a lot in the country, too. Like, a couple of my farmer friends will talk about how people will just pull over to the side of the road and steal corn out of their field.
Yeah, and I've heard of that too, and I'm like, that's insane.
Yeah, that's their livelihood. Why are you stealing corn? And they're like, well, it's just a couple stalks. Because they want, like, the whole stalk.
Yeah. I'm like, just go to the grocery store. When it's in season, it's like 25 cents an ear.
Yeah.
Just go to the grocery store.
Top comment. Can you replace your stolen items from the farm stand? Each time someone takes from your garden, you take from the garden stand.
She shouldn't have to.
No, you shouldn't have to. Somebody replied to that. I get the impression people are stealing from OP's garden because what they want isn't available at the farm stand or isn't as nice as what's in the farm stand. That might be true, but also seems I think people will just grab.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then comment to that, or they just don't care.
I think a lot of people just don't care and feel very entitled.
Yeah.
I see it, I want it, I take it.
That's exactly their whole thought process, yes. And then OP did update the post with a couple replies to, like, general comments. First off, thanks for the responses. I got some good ones. I'm happy that so many of you live in places where the cops would do anything about this. But this isn't the reality I'm living. Cops here would not give a shit if I sent them a video of someone picking from my garden. They would laugh in my face. Be thankful if you live in a place where the police are useful. Going to make signs indicating heavy use of pesticides and repeating that they are stealing food from the mouths of hungry children. I don't know why the signs we already have up aren't enough. Maybe more will help. I'm sure they won't. I will also scour Craigslist for free fencing or similar items. Hopefully this pans out.
I mean, that's a good idea on her part, I guess. I guess all she can do right now is, if she can't afford a fence, is put more signs up. I still think I would get a motion-activated sprinkler. Ooh, you know how our bird feeder, like, it has got a camera and it takes videos and stuff? But you can also set it up so that anytime it senses motion, an alarm goes off. It goes, wah, 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 really loud and really scary. I would set one of those up, like a motion-activated alarm. Near your garden.
Why does our bird feeder have a alarm setting?
So you can scare the squirrels away. So you can manually activate it, or if it's just a squirrel raiding your thing all the time, you can set it so anytime it senses motion, it just alarms.
Well, then how did the birds get the food?
I don't know! But I thought that was a weird setting too. I did like that it had the, like, if you're watching the, like, camera feed and you see a squirrel is just gorging himself, you can hit the alarm thing.
That's funny.
That stopped working after like 3 days. After 3 days of that, the squirrels were like, I don't care!
We got a better pull, so the squirrels can't get to it anymore.
Yeah, we had to get a squirrel baffle.
Yeah.
But yeah, the alarm worked great, and I got some great video footage of the squirrels scrambling for 3 days. And then they were like, while the alarm is going.
So what you're saying is these people are the human equivalent of squirrels gorging.
Yeah, squirrels raiding a bird feeder. Am I the asshole for getting a new nurse fired for accusing me of having an affair with my father?
I think once she accuses you of that, there's no rules anymore.
I am a hospital social worker at a small hospital. My dad is one of the ER day shift charge nurses. A few weeks ago, I was in the ER trying to figure out placement for an elderly patient. When I was leaving, I had a chat with my dad in the hallway. Before I left, he gave me a hug and told me not to be late for dinner. I joked about how I'm going to order the most expensive steak on the menu since it's his turn to pay. I'm 27 female, my dad is 51 male.
Uh-huh.
There was a new nurse at the nurses' station nearby. Pretty much everyone knows that he's my dad. I hadn't spoken with this new nurse much, though, and she didn't know.
Why do you need to tell her? Be like, hey, just so you know, that's my dad that I hugged. It's not her business.
Apparently, she thought my dad and I were having an affair based off what she saw/heard. She knew my dad's married to my mom, who brings him lunch sometimes. She immediately began gossiping to some of the other staff that my dad is having an affair with a hospital social worker, aka me. One older nurse that I've known for a long time immediately came to tell me. I don't think she liked this new nurse very much. I guess no one decided to tell her that he's my dad. I hate gossipers. I don't know what it is about nurses, but I swear to God, some of them really love to spread rumors.
Oh, they absolutely do. Nurses love gossiping.
I decided not to take it up with her and just went straight to HR. We were both asked to come to HR after our shift was over, along with my dad. Now, the HR lady knew that he's my father. When the new nurse came in, she was asked to explain, and she said that she thinks it's terrible that we would so blatantly have an affair, and that she was shocked because she thought my dad seemed like such a nice guy.
It sounds like she went off so little information. From that conversation, his wife could have just been coming with him. And she probably was.
Yeah, she probably was. My dad then decided to speak up and explain that I'm his child. The new nurse was mortified and apologized profusely. The HR lady asked me and my dad to leave. They had a meeting with the unit manager, and it was decided that the new nurse would be fired immediately because she was still in her 90-day probationary period. My mom thinks I'm a jerk, and I should have just brought it up to the nurse instead of bringing it to HR when I knew that she would probably get fired. I think my mom is also sympathetic because she stalked the woman's Facebook and she's a single mom or whatever.
Yeah.
I think I was right to get her fired because the hospital doesn't need a bunch of nurses sitting on their asses gossiping instead of doing their jobs. My dad is embarrassed and feels awkward about the whole thing. It's not the first time someone has thought I was dating my dad. We aren't weird or anything, but it happens.
Okay, I don't think it does.
Anywho, am I the asshole? I mean, I guess if you're like giving someone a hug,
Yeah.
it's weird to see a guy and a girl, a man and a woman hugging
I guess so.
in a workplace and not assume that they're like a couple, I guess.
I guess so, but at a certain point you need to be like, people keep accusing me of having an affair with my dad. Maybe you're doing something weird. I'm sorry. Maybe you guys hug slightly too long. I don't know. I'm gonna stop talking about that. You're not the asshole. I will say, I don't like your statement that the hospital doesn't need a bunch of nurses gossiping instead of working. Nurses are experts at gossiping while working.
True. They shouldn't gossip, though.
They shouldn't, but they do. And they can easily do it while refilling, your IV bag or whatever they need to do. You're not the asshole. It is a very asshole thing to just start a rumor that somebody's having an affair that can destroy a marriage.
Yeah.
It can destroy a lot of things.
Based on, like...
A hug.
A hug, yeah.
And we're going to dinner.
Mm-hmm. That seems a little bit jumping to conclusions there.
You don't even just start and go to, like, somebody who has been there longer than 90 fucking days.
What's going on with these two?
Yeah, what's up with those two hugging? That's still a weird question. But it's better than just starting a rumor.
Top comment, NTA. She didn't just misunderstand. She gossiped about a serious accusation without knowing the facts. In a professional setting, that's unacceptable. You went through the right channels. Her being on probation or a single mom doesn't excuse that behavior.
It really doesn't.
Yeah, I hate people who are like, oh, don't get her fired. She's a single mom. I'm like, dude, if she deserves to be fired, being a single mom has nothing to do with it. Maybe she should have thought about her kids before she did something that was fireably offense-worthy.
Yeah.
Did that make sense? Maybe she should have thought about her kids before she did something that was a fireable offense.
Yeah, I mean, is it that hard not to gossip about your coworkers and not make things up? I don't have any sympathy for her. I'm sorry.
NTA, if you would have handled it privately, she would have just moved on to the next round of gossiping about coworkers. Now she might learn to keep her opinions to herself. Yeah, how hard is it to say, they seem friendly, or ask, how do they know each other, instead of, oh my god, an affair.
That's it exactly. How do they know each other? That's all you had to say.
Like, she could have just asked, oh, who's that? She jumped headfirst into the most nefarious scenario to create drama.
Right?
Yeah, it sounds like she just loves drama.
She clearly does, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, not the asshole.
No, not the asshole.
People shouldn't gossip about their coworkers at work.
Yeah.
Especially if you're new and don't know anybody.
Especially that. This one's from Today I Fucked Up.
Oh, okay.
Today I fucked up by texting my date that I might end up marrying him seconds after we ended our date.
Oh, that's a little pushy and forward, and you're gonna scare him off.
This just happened to me, literally 10 minutes ago. I am dying. I am dead. End me now, oh holy ghost.
It's so embarrassing.
I thought this only happened in some poorly written rom-coms. The kind that hardly imitates real life. I want to bury myself and never come to see the light again. Why me? Oh, why me?
She's being a little dramatic here. Get to the story.
10 painfully long minutes ago, I, exalted by the wonderful date I went on with this handsomely gorgeous man who also happened to be a friend of mine for the last 3 years, against my apartment door that I had just closed on his beautiful face. Oh my god, I can't... I like this buzz, but this is so...
This is not making sense.
She's trying to be so poetic. Alright, I'm going to cut to the quick of this part because she's getting really poetic and it's kind of hard to read.
Okay.
10 minutes ago, after closing the door in his beautiful face, I typed these words that will fiercely haunt me now. Bitch, I think I'm going to end up marrying this guy.
Sent it to the wrong person.
This was meant for my best friend. The only other soul I could muster to express my vulnerable feelings.
Oh no.
I sent this deeply poetic text to him instead. Do you think there is a void big enough on this planet to hold all my misery, all the embarrassment? Do you think I can make a pact with the devil to turn back time? I would just need 10 minutes. That'd be really nice. Can I please die now? Literal and metaphorical death is the only relief I might know. I'm currently in my library, sprawled across the floor, intently staring at the ceiling. Man, I think I'll be here forever.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad thing to text to someone you've been on one date with.
Follow up. Bitch, I owe you an update. Just have fun with it, at least. Good news. There's so much staring at the ceiling one can do before pure boredom kicks in and the realization that the desire to scream fuck, fuck, fuck at the top of your lungs will most likely not last for eternity. Bad news. You guys did me dirty by blasting my still fresh embarrassment on the front page and apparently on a famous Portuguese radio show this morning. Cool. So, on to the meaty love update. Once I realized the text blunder, I quickly texted him that it was not meant for him, with a crying emoji for good measure. Sweet, sweet man that he is, he responded immediately to let me know that he doesn't read text not meant for him, winky face. I subsequently asked for permission to die. He said, please don't.
Okay, so he's kind of cool with it. That's nice. He seems like a nice guy.
He understands that that happens.
And she's probably exaggerating, Right.
That just means I was good at that date.
Yeah.
Hell yes, I nailed it. This morning he texted me about some travel plans we have down the line. Bless this handsome man. The gods are cruel, but not that cruel. This is where I should clarify that the original post was obviously a tad hyperbolic and hard to read. Just like that text, go figure. I slept well last night, and I also laughed. At myself, the blunder, just the ridiculous timing. What also got imprinted on me was that exact moment I wrote and sent that text. The moment he leaned and kissed me goodnight, I, looking at him as I closed my apartment door, locked it, and at once turned around and heavily sighing and smiling, keys still in hand. My god, she's like an author.
She wants to be.
Right?
It's not as bad that she texted him this since they've known each other 3 years. Like, someone you just met and went on one date with versus someone you've known and has had a crush on you for 3 years. Not as bad.
I don't know. I think it's fine either way.
Yeah.
As the guy, if I got that text, I'd be like, I nailed it. She likes me. One more update.
Okay.
4 years later.
Oh my goodness, is this old?
Yeah.
Okay.
The first 2 posts were in 2020.
Okay.
This one's in 2024. Bitch, we got married.
Okay, that's cute.
3 years after I mistakenly pressed send, texting this gorgeous specimen of a guy I would marry him seconds after ending our first date, keys still in hand as I struggled to both text and lock the door, and subsequently sprawled across my library wishing for the floor to engulf me, I did end up marrying the man. Damn, what in the world, life. Thought I'd let you guys know since you did help me with your funny comments and shared shameful moments to eventually get myself up that fateful evening, dust myself off, and not commit cringe seppuku. It's been 3 years of pure joy, and he's still as dreamy and kind, you guys. And it was, kids, that's how I met your father after all. See you in the next chapter. Too long didn't read. Bitch, I married the man.
Next it's gonna be, bitch, we had a baby.
Right? Been married for less than a year. It might be a minute before that.
Yeah. Am I the asshole for silently changing my son's name after my brother and sister-in-law gave my nephew the name too?
No, I guess you're allowed to change your kid's name. It's a little weird that you have to, but it sounds like you're not the asshole, even though it sounds like there might be one here.
My wife and I had our son 4 months ago. We had a name chosen early in her pregnancy. We kept that name to ourselves, but sister-in-law, married to my brother, found it out when she was still pregnant with my nephew, almost 7 months old. She never said how. She just told us she loved the name, congrats, and she couldn't wait to meet him. We assume she snooped because she was not told. I even mentioned it to my brother, and he said that his wife does like to browse through people's things like it was no biggie.
Okay.
That's really weird.
Yeah. She just happened to be looking through your tax statements. It's not a big deal.
Then, when my nephew was born, they announced his name, and it was the name we chose. First, middle, and last name. My brother called right after sister-in-law posted the announcement, and he told me to keep quiet because his wife had a rough birth and she didn't need the drama, and he knew we might not like it, but she really wanted the name.
Okay, brother. Man up a little.
Her reason? My brother and I have matching twin-like names, and sister-in-law wanted to connect our 2 boys by just giving them the same name so they were each other's namesake.
That's gonna cause so many problems.
My wife and I talked it over and we decided to pick a different name. But we'd pretend to keep the original name until there was zero risk of sister-in-law changing my nephew's name. 6 months after a birth is harder to make a change in our state. We only started telling people the true name last week. My parents and sister said it made sense. My friends and my in-laws understood why we did it. My brother told me I upset his wife by silently doing this shit and taking away her choice to match the boys.
Okay. It's not her choice. One, and from the title, I did not realize that the kid was not born yet when you changed the name. You can change it up till the instant that kid pops out. Who cares?
So I think what happened is...
Oh, no, I understand what happened. Sister-in-law stole the name because she wanted them to be twinsies, even though that is going to screw up every single government document they will ever have for their whole life.
My brother told me I upset his wife by silently doing the shit and taking away her choice to match the boys. He told me it was a dick move. I told him his wife using the full name we chose was a dick move.
Yeah, don't steal people's baby name.
I asked him if he considered how much tougher it would be with both boys enrolled in the same schools with the very same name. Not to mention banking, doctors, dental, all kinds of stuff. He told me plenty of people have the same name, and it's not a big deal, and it's harder to mix shit up now, and we're just trying to gatekeep names.
It's not harder to mix shit up now. They're gonna have, the same birth year, probably.
Yeah.
That makes so many problems.
And they're going to the same school and gonna be in the same grade.
Yeah.
That's so terrible.
That's such a white trash thing to do. It's just such a... Yeah. It's so trashy to do that. I don't like it at all. I'm sorry if you have this scenario. I don't apologize for my statement, though. Well, I did. I just did, but...
I think he's crazy. So does my wife. She said he clearly doesn't want sister-in-law to be mad. But am I the asshole for what I did? Are we weird for thinking of this kind of stuff?
No. Why do you have to change everything to suit sister-in-law?
Yeah, I like you took away sister-in-law's choice to match the names. She took away your choice to not have matching names.
Yeah.
She doesn't get to unilaterally decide that her kid and your kid are going to have matchy-matchy names.
No, you could have just rhymed the names like the brothers have, and that's not weird.
I was like, also, the exact same name is really weird.
It's super weird.
You should have just done matchy-matchy similar names.
Yeah.
Starting with the same initial, similar sounds, would have been much cooler than the exact same name.
It absolutely would have been. No, it's so confusing to have 2 Bens. What? Nobody wants that, except for sister-in-law. And brother is just afraid to argue with his wife.
And you can't be like Ben Smith and Ben Jones. No, because they're both Ben Smith.
Yeah. Ben James Smith and Ben James Smith. And this is my cousin, Ben James Smith.
But isn't that your name? Yeah.
Yeah.
And my cousin's name.
Yeah.
You're right, that's white trash.
It's super white trash.
Definitely NTA. Your brother is outraged that you took away sister-in-law's choice to match the boys. What about the fact that she took away your choice to have an individual name by invading your privacy? He's fine with that, I assume?
Yeah, I forgot about the fact that she found it by snooping.
Uh-huh.
Which, I guess they must have had like a list of baby names written down, and this one was circled in red with arrows pointing to it.
Yeah.
You missed an opportunity to set a trap. I'm gonna name my kid Garbage Johnson.
OP responded to that. He acted like it was no biggie, while I'm thinking I need to keep a closer eye on her in the future.
Right?
You don't want her snooping through your house.
No, it sounds like she's poking through your personal records.
It's a big deal when his wife is upset, but when his wife upsets someone else, he couldn't care less. But you didn't gatekeep. You didn't tell them they had to change the name they stole from you. You were quite kind and didn't make a fuss over it. They're mentally deficient. Congrats on your new baby.
Yeah, I hope your new name is better.
Well, that's it for this episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Later.